With the recent release of Fracture, we have once again been introduced to an entire new set of attacker mechanics. Now, instead of only being able to attack from one side of the map, attackers can now attack from two, breaking a lot of map design traditions. Which brings up an interesting question. With each map adding a new element that makes it unique, what elements make a great map and which map is the best? What is going on, ProGuides family? It is your host Sergeant Frost, and today we'll be covering each map and talking about their specialties, and then try to rank them based on how they play. And for our question of the day, we can talk briefly about our personal preferences. What is your favorite map and why? For me, I really enjoy ASCENT. ASCENT is a medium-sized, clean map that reminds me of my favorite maps from CSGO. It feels like it's very 50-50 to attack and defend on this map, and that makes it fair in my opinion. So that's why I like that map. What are your favorite maps? Let us know in the comment section down below. For this list, one of the main criteria we will be basing the rankings on will be how well balanced the map is for attackers and defenders. Although that's not the end-all be-all of map design, we think that a balanced map typically also gives both sides many more options to approach the map, therefore allowing more innovation. At the end of the day, each map has a decently unique playstyle, so some maps may suit your style more. With that being said, let's jump right into the action. Starting things off, coming in at number 7, and one of the first maps in the game, we have Split. Split, unlike any other map, has 3 lanes: mid, B main, and A main. As a result of these limited lanes, it is very hard to lurk on this map as there aren't many entrances to keep track of for the defenders. This map is by far the most close range with a ton of corners, which means there could be defenders anywhere, and attackers will have a hard time gaining ground without taking fights. Based on these attributes, it is no surprise that Split is very defender-sided. This also makes Split very Sentinel and Controller dependent. With 2 bomb sites in 3 lanes, Sentinel's ability to hold down their lane with their utility is imperative to the success of the team. Similarly, Controllers must be on point to give their team any chance of successfully making it onto sites. Due to how choky all the entrances are, it's hard to feel comfortable on this map, especially on the attacker side. Since the map is defender-sided, it naturally falls onto the bottom of our list. Moving along to the number 6 spot, we have Fracture. As mentioned, Fracture is the newest Valorant map, and it's truly one of a kind. Similarly to ICEBOX, Fracture has a lot of vertical angles to keep track of, which makes clearing angles a lot more dangerous. On a similar note, Fracture is the only map in which the attackers are able to attack from 2 different sides of the map. This makes not only winning fights super important, but gathering accurate information as well. To no one's surprise, this map is extremely attacker-sided, and duelists and sentinels have very important roles to fulfill. As a result of this map being out for such a short amount of time, it's hard to really discuss a true meta, but without a doubt, we have seen a huge sentinel presence already take place. With Killjoy's ultimate on B having nearly no counters, there is a lot of development that has to go into the map meta before we have a better idea of what's going on. Cypher's trips also have high value, since it does secure entrances to prevent sneaky lurkers. Lurking as a whole feels very strong, and there's a lot of room for innovation still. But what's clear is that there's a ton of moving parts on the map, with the attackers having the most freedom to operate here. Because it's currently so attacker-sided and hard to find your footing on this map, Fracture takes number 6 on this list. And since Fracture is a new map that changes how we approach attacking and defending greatly, it's natural to feel reluctant or confused whenever you play. Whether it's to learn a new map or to build on your experience in other maps and playstyles, our Radiant and Immortal level coaches at ProGuides.com are always available to help you out 24/7. Coaching is a great tool to get an experienced player's opinion on all your questions related to Valorant. And what's awesome is that you can benefit from coaching at any level, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned veteran. So if you're interested in taking the fast track to reaching your potential as a player, come check us out with the link in the description. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Bind. Bind is one of those weird maps where it feels like attackers have a lot of freedom, but it's defender-sided. Bind has 4 lanes including A short, shower, hookah, and B long. Unlike every other map, Bind does not have a traditional mid-map per se. Instead, it has 2 completely separate sides. These 2 sides are accompanied by 2 teleporters. These teleporters are also what separates Bind from every other map. When we look at the playstyle that is often commonplace, we see 2 fundamental strategies. The first strategy that we often see is a simple default, similarly to what we see on every other map. Attackers work to take control of showers, B long, hookah, and A short at the start of the round. If one side is successful, players can then utilize teleporters or rotate fast enough through market in order to quickly take control of said bomb site. The second strategy that is often seen is super fast executes as soon as the round starts. As you may assume, with the lack of a middle map and the teleporters only allowing players to teleport in one direction, fast bomb site executes can be extremely problematic for defenders who are slow to rotate. Gathering early round information and sentinel play is essential on this map. Considering most defending teams place 3 players on one site and 2 on the other, attackers' ability to figure out which bomb site is less stacked and properly execute is the key to winning rounds. Overall, due to Bind containing no middle map and only 4 total lanes, it can virtually never be an attacker-sided map, especially considering double sentinel comps such as Sage and Cypher and Sage and Killjoy setups are common. For these reasons, Bind has been placed at the number 5 spot in our lineup. Next up, coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Breeze. Breeze, like Fracture, is also a relatively new map. Breeze has 4 to 5 lanes depending on how you look at it, including A main, tube, mid door, elbow, and B main. The reason for this lane discrepancy comes as a result of both mid door and elbow technically being able to be watched by the same player. This map has a strong lurk potential due to its high quality of lanes, and also introduces some of the biggest sites in the game. Unlike a majority of other maps, a large portion of angles that Breeze contains are medium to long range, making this an opper's paradise. These long angles cause Breeze to be very controller and initiator dependent, with Sentinels having significantly less impact as they do on other maps. With long angles, cover is essential to safely get onto bomb sites. This is the job of controllers to provide that cover. On a similar note, initiators are essential as their information is the only way to safely guide their team onto bomb sites. Sentinels feel weaker because of the larger area that they need to defend, which makes their utility even weaker. Overall, Breeze can be both attacker and defender sided depending on the team comps and team playstyle. Although it contains a lot of aspects that make up great FPS maps, with its current layout combined with the agent pool, it seems as if it simply has too many moving parts to be placed better on the list. For these reasons, Breeze will be taking the number 4 spot. Moving along to our top 3, we have Haven. Haven is the only map that contains 3 bomb sites. Alongside these 3 bomb sites comes 5 total lanes, including A long, A short, front B, garage, and C long. Like Ascent and Bind, Haven doesn't have a lot of verticality, only featuring a few angles on each site like A heaven, B generators, and top default on C. With Haven containing 3 bomb sites, it's probably not surprising that it is somewhat attacker-sided in theory. Considering there are 5 defenders to hold 5 lanes, one could assume that the defending teams will assign 1 player per lane. This has many impacts on both sides of the coin. Attackers can work quickly to take bomb sites, whether that be splitting lanes or hard hitting a lane. If not, they risk defenders lurking up lanes and fast flanking. On the other hand, attackers can each occupy one of these 5 lanes in hopes of gaining a numbers advantage for their team. Haven is extremely team composition dependent. All agent types hold extreme value on this map as each team's success heavily relies on each agent effectively doing their role. Sentinels need to be able to effectively be able to solo hold their bomb sites, duelists need to regularly win gunfights gaining control for their team, and initiators need to be able to efficiently gather information. Despite it having 3 bomb sites and 5 total lanes, most of these lanes are quite cramped and can be held by single players. This balances the map significantly and allows for this map to sway more closely to being even from side to side. For this reason, we have elected to place Haven in the 3 spot. Coming in at our runner-up, we have ICEBOX. Back when the map was first released, this map was universally hated by the Valorant community, but as the meta developed, it has started to become a map that a lot of people view as their favorite map. ICEBOX features a large majority of medium to long range fights. The primary component that sets ICEBOX apart is its heavy verticality. This is very challenging for a lot of players as vertical aim adjustments are a foreign art to a majority of FPS players. When we take a look at how a lot of teams play ICEBOX, we see a variety of different strategies. When we take a look at how attacking teams play this map, there is a ton of different options from mid splits, mid lurks, to fast-paced execute fakes, and simple rushes. Regardless of attacker strategy, this map is extremely retake dependent, but at the same time, the map is very well developed strategically for executes and retakes, leading to an experience that is very balanced and exciting. Overall, in simple terms, ICEBOX is neither attacker or defender sided. It is one of the most fluid maps and one of the more developed maps in terms of the meta. By containing 3 primary lanes with realistic lurking opportunities for both sides alongside verticality and a lot of innovation for both sides, the map everyone hated at first has become one of the best maps in Valorant, so we're happy to place it at number 2. Last but certainly not least, coming in at our number 1 spot, we have ASCENT. ASCENT is the first map that was added to Valorant after its release, and was immediately well received by the community. This map features 4 total lanes including A main, B main, middle map, and catwalk. The unique map quirk of ASCENT is the addition of switch doors that can be opened and closed via a designated switch, and they can be broken after you close them. Now that we have established some key characteristics of ASCENT, let's talk a bit about how well this map plays to be our pick for the best map in the game. What's really great about this map is that there are a lot of options when it comes to defending and attacking. Anchoring sites and retaking are both very viable options, and attackers also have a variety of different ways to attack sites, such as straight up rushes, mid splits, late round fake plays, and even spawn wraps. Yet at the same time, defenders have an equal playing field with how well they can retake space and push extremities, allowing for very exciting mid-round situations, as well as explosive site takes. Denying splits, lurks, and fast site hits are all challenges defenders have to navigate, making ASCENT an equal attacker and defender-sided map. Either side can take over the half if given room to breathe, and it makes for a type of map where both sides give you a chance for big comebacks or a big throw. Because it's so well balanced and so versatile for both sides, this map is by far the most well-designed map in the game, hands down. But as always, it's hard to say which map is objectively the best, as each map has their own interesting map metas that can evolve over time. I'm excited to see what develops over time and how the game develops, as we could very well see some big changes after the new agents come out, or if LCQ brings over some amazing new strategies. Anyways, this wraps up our list for the best and worst balanced maps in Valorant. If you enjoyed this video, always feel free to drop us a like and subscribe to keep up to date with our latest uploads. This has been your host, Sergeant Frost, and I'll see you all again in the next one.